Hello again, and welcome back to this blind playthrough of Tyranny. We've actually just captured our first spire, and I think now we're just going to venture out into the world, like that. Okay, we've captured, this is our first look at the world map, actually. I was going to say we just captured our first spire. Um, it looks like we can build it up and hire servants and trainers and all that stuff. And there are other spires and other edicts that we have to go out and interact with. So as I understand it, Bladegrave, this is where Graven Ash and his stupid troops are. That's where we'll meet him, probably bash in his dumb face. And the Stone Sea is where... Oh, actually, his face is right there, isn't it? His Scarlet Chorus and the voices of Narat are all there. Don't know what Ironhearth is. Library that I set on fire in the Conquest. Not my fault. Kairos wanted it to happen. We're going to go meet our boss, though, here in Tunon's court. And we're actually, traveling there by foot. Could I have teleported there from my spire? Encounter the Bastard Tier. While making your way through the wilderness, you come upon several dense shrubs liberally dotted with crimson berries. The fruits are plump and ripe. Yeah, can I identify it? Budding rose, a bush that produces edible berries. These are a known aphrodisiac. Interesting. Tell me more. Commonly used in local festivals, unfortunately, they're also mildly toxic to practitioners of magic. Yeah, I'll definitely harvest those. What, I can just eat them? Um, where is this going? So it's an aphrodisiac. It can harm people with magic. Budding Rose, Fatebinder? I didn't know you felt that way about me, and here I would have thought you were the type to come right out and ask. Either way, I'm afraid I'm going to have to decline. I'm not interested in complications right now, and those are little round red complications. That's very funny. We'll just leave with them. I mean, what do I get? A toxin that I can use against wizards. That's kind of cool. Okay, I don't know where that black smoke is coming from, but I'm eager to finally meet Tunon himself.
I got it.
Lady Lucretius. What are you all about? Oh, greetings. Anda Lucretius, formerly of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here. A Fatebinder, no doubt? Do I look like that? I mean, I gave my armor to Lantry. He might look like he belongs more than I do. What are all these stupid nobles doing in Tunon's court? Trying to look brave, I warrant, but if you crane an ear to any of their conversations, you'll hear a different tale. 3 years since Tunon set up shop at the Bastard City, we're still getting used to our new masters, and figuring out what we can and can't ask of them. These are smart, ring-plenty folk. The way they approach Tunon, you'd think they were raised under a tyrant's lash. Some have come to settle a grievance, others to pledge fealty. I've been standing around long enough to know that the adjudicator doesn't care for empty gestures. Yeah, so the Astroteers are quieter. It doesn't seem like you have anything interesting to say. You just seem like a backstory NPC. Tell me of yourself. Daughter of a noble house, we are wealthy, live in a city. What is Thistleholm? Sounds like a horrible place to live. Lots of thistle plants everywhere. Ancestral Hall. Kairos' law are made to serve the masses, not the individual. I've gained favor with Tunon. That's kind of nice. I can appreciate that, especially when there's suffering or corruption on a grand scale. It all makes sense on parchment, doesn't it? I come from a long line of smart, ring-savvy merchants, but even I can't reconcile Tunon's justice with Kairos' law. There's something wrong about it all. Maybe Tunon knows something I don't, or maybe... What do you mean? People come here for justice. They usually get a version of it, but it's Tunon's version, not theirs. Half of the time, they don't even get what they wanted out of a ruling in their favor. The deed to a farm, for instance. Not to put my own ignorance on display, but if more people knew how Kairos' laws worked, they might not come here seeking a ruling at all, even a fair one. Tunon is a servant of law, but he's the Overlord's vassal as much as any of us. Sometimes it seems like he uses his position to twist everything in the Empire's favor. We're just pieces on a board, and he can move us wherever the law justifies that we stand. That doesn't sound, well, legal. Fascinating. I don't really feel like I need to bribe you. That last bit of information was actually kind of interesting. Like, is Tunon also someone that I can eventually turn against? Can I take his position? Because that would be kind of cool. Would I make a better judge than him? I no idea. Honestly, I wouldn't treat nobles very well, that's for sure. Tunon isn't one to change his mind, and fair as it may seem, the ruling stands. Favor with Tunon again. So he likes consistency, it seems. I'm not going to insult him like I insult the Scarlet Chorus, for sure. I had no thought to dispute the ruling, but I appreciate the kindness of your tone all the same. It's an uncommon thing to find in the Bastard City these days. With a name like Bastard City, I'm not surprised. It's full of bastards.
Will do.
Also, I really appreciate the fact that this is where the legal authority sits, and it's called the Bastard City. Because, you know what I mean.
You call yourselves officers of Kairos' army, but your conduct falls short of my expectations. The court finds your accounts of Vendrian's well lacking, rife with misdirection and fallacy, fouled with baseless accusation.
Oh, that voice is so silky and smooth. Is that the same voice actor as Graven Ash? Sounds amazing, though. I like it. In my mind, like, that's kind of the voice that I would have given to Voices of Nerat, but no, it suits him. It suits him really well. Your Honor, I have relayed the events as I experienced them. You can well imagine why my version conflicts with his. On my honor, and on that of the great general, I would sooner snap my sword than perjure myself before you, Archon. Oh, so you imply that falsehood comes easier to my lips than yours? You're a fool if you believe the Archon of Justice won't see through your lies because disfavored think themselves better than an honest gang. Honest gang. Wow.
The contradictions in your statements will be examined, and falsities threshed from truths. If we find you have perjured yourselves, Blood and Mark will see to your fate.
If this game is moddable, someone really needs to make a mod where instead of silence he says, "Objection!" And you get this, like, big, cartoon image of him coming in from the side. Objection!
Fatebinder, we will start with the matter of the Archons. Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat have declared war upon each other. In addition to violating Kairos' peace, they have thrown the conquest of the Tears into disarray. By all accounts, these hostilities began shortly after your arrival. Tell us what transpired.
The Archons could not agree on who should lead the siege and descended into accusations of treachery. It seemed a mutual spat. The disfavored were more deserving of the honor. Our tactics and training outmatched the Vendrian Guard at every turn. Except that's not true. You suck. Blood Mulch, that's such an awesome name. Wow. Scarlet Chorus, they never fail to have the best names. What balderdash, the disfavored couldn't tip over a straw hut if they had a week to strategize. Our howling mob was better equipped to overwhelm the Vendrian Guard. Our recruits were ready to throw themselves at the enemy, and if only Ash and his legion would agree to a plan.
The Fatebinder presents testimony. I warn you both against speaking out of turn. Something more than a mere disagreement unraveled this campaign. But I will return to that in time. Let us speak of Ascension Hall. From all accounts, it would seem you were instrumental in its capture.
Damn right.
Or so the petitioner of the Scarlet Chorus testifies. The disfavored commander has a dimmer view of the matter. Lend me your perspective.
That's not exactly a lie, is it? I joined with the Scarlet Chorus. We took the Citadel with an unstoppable
The
advance.
edict meant certain doom if the siege failed. So why, when your survival depended on it, did you join your strength to the Scarlet Chorus and not the elite disfavored?
The Voices of Nerat was willing to win the Citadel at any cost. Ash values his army more than his duties to Kairos.
I
Yeah.
will consider this testimony at length. The court thanks you for it. Is there anything you wish to add at this time?
Is there anyone in this court other than you?
Your testimony is accepted by the court. The statements of our guests raise questions in my mind. There is much about this campaign that has caused me to wonder. A shipment of iron weapons was short on arrival. Where coveted iron is concerned, I don't believe it to be a clerical error. One of my agents recovered this seal in Echo Call. It belongs to a merchant collective. Lethian's Crossing is teeming with their kind. If you would root out treachery, I would advise starting there.
I would.
Petitioners, leave us. I would have a private audience with the Fatebinder. Ascend and join me. You will find the way opened.
I like this guy. This Archon is badass. He's all like, I am the law. Who are you? Fatebinders? Hey! These are my colleagues, my co-workers. Where am I?
On
There
it.
we go. Let's talk to my co-workers. Durago, you return unscathed and more acclaimed than ever. This seems to be your way. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. Speak as you wish. I'd pay a boar's weight in rings to know your thoughts. Wow, this guy really likes me. Okay, this seems like it's going to be a lot of backstory. I'm just going to go through it pretty quickly. Good thing Tunon spared you. I just gained favor with Tunon. Here's about Tunon's masks. Oh, he has a silent face. He has a face of no resolve. He has a face that is no more. Have you ever seen him change his faces? Is he like hexadecimal from Reboot? Just like waves his hand in front of his face and changes. Could you remind me of the history and origin of the Fatebinders? Yeah, there's not many of us, I guess. Okay, wait, is that really all he had to say? No. I've claimed the spire at Vendrian's Well. What did you claim? What did you get? So the court's whispers are true. Someday I would like to witness for myself this tower that has risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky, or a spear, like the one I wield. I would hear of your past victories in the war of recent events. Have you not yet tired of my tales, Durigo? God, we're like Thor and his friends, just exchanging battle stories. Where's the alcohol? Where's the booze? We need to split open a keg and drink and exchange our stories. Spin our tales. Virgo, I have seen you've returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vendrian's Well are the matter of some discussion. Hello, Callio. That stripe across your eye. You remind me of... I don't know who you remind me of. So you've been in Azure. So you did the Edict of Stone. Oh, so that's kind of cool. So I had to choose which edict I would do in the conquest mode, and it looks like whatever ones I didn't do, these guys did. So no matter what, they all end up getting cast anyway. So about my comments about Throne of Ball, the fact that I was able to travel here on foot, I think it's gonna be okay. I think there's a good sense of geography to this game, and even though Throne of Ball did have a world map of sorts, I just really didn't like the way you traveled through it. I didn't like the way you had to travel via the Hell plane. Um, Even though they did kind of have an in-game excuse for it. Or maybe that's just not why I hated that game. Maybe I'm just... Yeah, I didn't hate it. I shouldn't say that. I just never finished it.
Yes.
I just get to a point where everything was a high-level slog. And, gets a little tedious. I still think Baldur's Gate 1 is better. Tunon! Hello, boss.
This civil war, this feud, is an insult to Kairos' peace. It should not have taken the better part of a year to silence the last vestiges of the Oathbreakers.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Our allies squabble while our enemies regroup. It falls upon the court to measure the extent of the damage, and to execute the agents of disorder. I suspect that treachery, negligence, disunity, and greed have infected one or both of our esteemed allies. Until you are instructed otherwise, this matter is the court's primary focus.
Interesting.
Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat must be examined in close detail. You are charged with observing the Archons and presenting your case that one of them has wrought chaos and disorder upon the tiers.
Could they both be guilty?
It's possible, but the momentum of the conquest up to this point suggests otherwise. The failure at Vendrian's Well implies a coordinated will behind the chaos.
Well, they did say that it was Voices of Nerat,
As
but...
always, you will be held accountable for what you do in the court's name. But you are free to conduct your investigation in the manner of your choosing. You must expect lies, misdirection, and manipulation. Suffer not such obstructions of justice.
Oh, I will not.
They say the Voices of Nerat holds you in higher regard than most. Use this alliance to enter his confidence. It seems unlikely the Archon of Secrets is more honest with friends than with rivals, but to his friends, he has been known to divulge much. The disfavored will likely be less cooperative with your investigation. They will no doubt assume Graven Ash's honor is beyond reproach, which is all the more reason to scrutinize the Archon of War closely. And if the ironclad forces discourage your inquiry, I charge you to make them talk. Speak their language of battle if you must.
Oh, I'm more than willing to do that too. I shall well, extracting information from the disfavored sounds like a worthy
Remember,
challenge.
your bloodlust must always be tempered by Kairos' laws. You may defend yourself against the disfavored. Because they are warring with the Scarlet Chorus, you may claim the defense of the Chorus. Your fellow Fatebinders have been busy acting as my eyes and ears. I have a few leads for you to follow. You should, of course, speak with your brothers and sisters of the court if you need further counsel. The disfavored have made use of the Sage's network of dovecotes and messenger birds as they come under capture. I've heard multiple claims of strategic communications gone missing. The Sages are broken, their citadel in flames, but they were not slaughtered to the last. Some of their numbers still congregate around the smoking husk of their burning library. If they have been reading disfavored communications, learn what they learned, then execute them. The Oathbreakers were reported to be using iron armaments, more than they might acquire from looting what few disfavored they killed. Any iron in the tiers not rusted through was made by forge-bound hands in Lethian's Crossing. Between craftsman and quartermaster, someone let iron fall into enemy hands. Investigate this matter and bring the thieves to justice. There is a final matter to discuss. A sensitive topic.
What concerns the court, Your Honor?
In spite of the many shortcomings at Vendrian's Well, you managed to make a name for yourself. You proclaimed an Edict of Kairos, resolved its demanding conditions, and ascended the mountain spire. Any one of these feats would be worthy of recognition by the highest authority. You managed to accomplish 3.
I am in a privileged position to accomplish such incredible
It
deeds.
pleases me that you grasp your role. as long as you temper it with a sense of duty. Whether by design or by accident, you have captured the attention of Kairos' army and the local tiersmen alike. This is no small opportunity, and the court charges you with exploiting your new standing to its fullest potential. You have a title in our hierarchy. However, it's a little-known secret that one's standing in the world is determined by their infamy, their deeds, and how they come to be known. Mind this notion as you bring justice to this lawless frontier. There may come a time when your deeds speak for you louder than any title.
I'm counting on it.
Whatever you did to capture the attention of the masses at Vendrian's Well, I would encourage you to do so again.
Great deeds will define me.
You begin to understand. Whether your acts are favorable or heinous, it falls to you to bring greatness to this campaign.
I'm glad you don't care which. That's crazy.
You are dismissed.
Wow.
Should the court have need of your presence, you will receive word. Go forth and do my bidding, and bring glory and honor to the tiers in Kairos' name.
I got a good chuckle just imagining this image coming from the side of the screen like this. Objection! That would really ruin the mood of this game, I know, but I love Phoenix Wright. And that's just a really funny image that I can't not think of. Especially when he said silence earlier.
On it.
Anything here we can loot? No? Okay, so we got more quests to do. I can still talk to him. You don't have anything more to say, do you? Tell me about Kairos. How old is Kairos? Her? Is it a her? She is my master, and I her dutiful pupil. That's interesting. I didn't know Kairos was a woman. If I'm transparent about it, I would have assumed male simply because the os in Greek names would usually be male. Or at least I don't know of any OS names that would be female. Do you think Kairos laws are fair? That is an irrelevant question. Kairos is law. It is the responsibility of fairness to conform to Kairos' definition of it, and anyone who believes otherwise is an agent of anarchy. I love anarchy, so maybe I am an agent of anarchy. I couldn't help but notice you refer to Kairos as a woman. Oh, that's actually an option to bring up. Beware of that trajectory of thought. Save for her perfection, there is little about Kairos to which we would ascribe recognizable attributes. Now that is proper. I mean, if he or she is a deity, if it is a deity, it really wouldn't have much use for gender, would it? Or sex. Power as distant and unknowable as the Overlord should transcend. I'm losing all of the favor that I built up. Or I'm not, actually. I'm gaining wrath. And you can have wrath and favor at the same time, which is crazy. How did he earn his title? His work away from the court takes blood mark to the dark places of the world. So he's like some sort of secret assassin Judge Dredd, right? Flawed. We are all servants of Kairos, and the Archons are also agents of their own interests. Those chosen few empowered to bring order to the world in accordance with Kairos' peace. At present, Blood and Mark is my vassal, and I his patron. The relationship is not so different from Graven Ash and Cairn, the fallen Archon, or the voices of Nerat and his songbird, Shireen. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Curious about you, Archon. Curiosity is not a trait I encourage in my servants. Oh no. Look at your rise to become an adjudicator. Curb your ambition, student. My path to this dais is not one that should be replicated under any circumstances. However, if your curiosity is determined, I will tell you my tale. Others might learn from it. Yeah, go for it, Landry. Why, yes, I would be most honored. He seems embarrassed. I came into the world centuries ago, before the dream of a unified northern empire was fully realized. My home country lay far from the borders of Kairos' realm, and our conquest was a matter of distant speculation. Decades before rumor of Kairos' approach grew in panicked volume, I familiarized myself with the intricacies of her law. It took me no time at all to realize the benefits of our inevitable subjugation. I took it upon myself to rise in my country's governance as an arbiter of law and drafter of covenants, building some notoriety in my execution of fair justice. Go on. Nation to join the Overlord's Empire. Tunon the Fair. Except people here don't seem to recognize you as such. What does it mean to be an Archon? I'm a figure of power and significance, and under Kairos' mandate I am able to exercise my authority for the benefit of all. Could anyone become an Archon? Absolutely not. Perish the thought. Know your place. There's no shoes on heads here. Be a shoe. Of those few who rise to power, fewer still have the self-control to make lawful use of their talents. So yeah, I mean, wasn't there an Archon? Never mind. I'm trying to think of, like, was there an Archon on the enemy side at all? But Graven Ash would have been an enemy Archon at some point, right? Before he was cowed. Is every Archon subservient to Kairos? All are subservient for Kairos, but I intuit your meaning. The Overlord takes great pains to recognize potential. Before an Archon comes into their power, they will have faced the harshest scrutiny by an agent of recruitment, if not Bledenmark himself. An astute question. Doubtless I exuded some spark of potential on my own, insignificant though enough to accomplish deeds of note. What's the deal with your mask? I know that's going to piss him off if I ask that, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Since the answer is relevant to your duties, I will tolerate your ignorance and explain. Go on. Uncaring wood. It's made of wood? It looks gray. It looks like it's made of stone. You know, some really thin stone or ceramic or something. What do you look like underneath the masks? Not only is that irrelevant, that is certainly gonna piss him off. I'm not gonna ask that. Do you have anything else that we can? I wish to speak about matters of law. Civilized realm. I wish to discuss Kairos' peace. The cornerstone of our wartime efforts, of course. How can the Overlord's name be used? The progeny, okay. So I can't... like, pretend to be Kairos or something like that. Remind me of the Magician's Folly. What's that? Protectioners... Forge-bound road will not be tolerated. Okay. Let's speak of quotas and sharing. Pretty reasonable. In times of plenty, you feed others. In times of need, you are fed. It's like almost kind of Stalinist. I'm not a Stalinist myself, but you know, not 100% of everything under Stalin was bad. By any stretch, calling it all taboo seems like a bit overkill. To play Kairos' advocate, that's a funny use of her name. The world would hardly be safer if all had access to the lore of making poisons, or the art of arming brigands in fine bronze. Am I beholden to these laws? That should not be in question. We are all subject to Kairos. Yes. Okay. Gain favor with Tunon. You are exceedingly curious about the application of Force Law. I find it refreshing that you would seek my counsel, Fatebinder. That's kind of funny. You just ask him enough questions. He's like, yes, you're a good student. You're a good student. Using my office hours for extra questions about the assignments. Should I talk to them again? Are they going to give me, like, quests or anything? Mocking Blaze. Blood Mulch. Gain favor with the Scarlet Chorus. Okay, cool. Scarlet... Oh, hey, they really love me. I've done so much for them. They should love me. Okay, I don't think they're going to have anything extra to say. He told me to consult them for, like, extra details or something, but...
I got it.
I got it. I got this. We're gonna... Aurora, hey, you're the first person I met in this game. And now she doesn't even want to make eye contact. That's... Yikes. I know who my friends are now. Jeez. Alright, well, I guess... What? Who are you? Oh, Bleden Mark. Welcome back, kid. Amusing as it would have been to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. Really? Do you know me? Do I know you? I've gained both wrath and lost favor. Ah. Sided with the Scarlet Chorus, huh? You like secrets and trickery. Oh, I can snap back. What's to you, Archon of the Elderly? How old are you? Time was of the essence, but Ash was slow to act. I sided with the Archon that could ensure my survival. Get some favor back? It's not surprising that he'd be cautious. Ash's legion has warred without reinforcements for years. Unlike the Voices, when his soldiers die, his army dwindles. I imagine you're off to meet with the Voices, or, well, whatever it is he has in mind, but first you and I need to have a little chat. I'm listening. Everyone's keeping an eye on you, because you did something nobody has done before. Got a guess as to what that might be? Let's see. Engage in war against an ally's soldiers. Proclaim 2 edicts. Resolve an edict before its consequences. Awaken the spiral in the old walls. I'm the first person to take an evasive stance against your rhetorical questions. That's really funny. I could be all of the above. You're not wrong, that was definitely a shock, but I doubt it's the sole reason you've made the true tears tremble. Proclaiming an edict isn't new, neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict, but you're the first person to resolve the very same edict, and it didn't kill you. In one fell swoop, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. And now I go on your short list of people who stand out as potential problems? More or less. Mostly more. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger that you're in now that you've put yourself on the map. You can come at me, Bledenmark. I'll take you. One-on-one. Come on, let's do it. You're an Archon. You don't have any glowing bits. Shireen doesn't either. Why don't all of the Archons have something glowing on them? When you're dealing with Voices, don't forget that he'll be doing everything he can to figure out what makes you different and how he can use it for his own gain. I believe Voices prefers the pronoun they, for the record, since he's plural. Thanks for the advice. Now, back off, old man. Okay, so... oh, okay, world map, of course. So now... we can go... okay, we can go back to my spire, which I don't think is necessary. We could, of course, go to Lethian's Crossing. And we do also have this guy who wants to talk to us. "2 days and 7 hours, 30 minutes to complete my journey." Wow. It's a long journey back to my spire. we're gonna come here, and I'm gonna see, like, can I... Because I think I can travel through the spire itself, right? Oh, Ebb is still here, right. Nope, it definitely takes 2 days for it. Yeah, so my whole thing about Baldur's Gate, never mind. This map is all well put together, it looks great. It's all geographically related and coherent. We're gonna go to the Stone Sea. Whoa, what are those? What's all that Tiberium doing here? Purple Tiberium. Growing out of control on the cliffside. That's not the sound you want to hear when you first get to an area. Oh god. I just hear flies buzzing around. What a welcome sound. Welcome to Cacophony, Fatebinder. Nerat said to be expecting you. Where can I find him? Northeast corner of the map. Camp. Near the only real buildings left. If he's not on his throne, he's wandering not too far from it. Alright.
Yes.
There are flies buzzing out everywhere I go. It's kind of disgusting.
I could bend that apart.
Blood-soaked mantle. That's amazing. I'm not allowed to sell you anything. What? Why? I thought I'm one of your homies. After all I've done for you.
Sorry, I can't.
I'm not gonna lie, that actually kind of annoys me. Why aren't you allowed to sell to me? Why are you closed? Why are you closed? I demand to know why you're closed. The usual. I help you, you help me. Nothing too steep. Such as... Say I were to give you information and you're acting on that information then benefited me in such a way or another. Would a shallow price for a nice payout? If you get what I mean. Have you a story behind the name Splinter? I like turtles. That's... I heard some of his victims end up on spikes, no? Sometimes. Bring back some disfavored fingers? Yes, I'll do that. Absolutely, yes, I will do that. Kill the disfavored. They suck. They really, really suck. Dirge! Wrathrot. Just what we need, a Fatebinder of the courts. Look, I understand my rank, but I can't just bite my tongue when Bossman Dirge thinks to get in the way of the crime of such proportions without bribing me first. Frig you, Wrathrot. Oh god. So I know this game uses the F word sometimes, but it's so funny and nice to see frig. Frig you, Wrathrot. As if you'd settle for a rent rump and a fistful of rings. Admit it, the price you want's my head so you can stand atop our little crew. I'm gonna finish this conversation, then we'll cut the episode here. What crime is being charged? A capital one, Fatebinder. And I saw it with my own eyes. 3 nights back, Bossman stuck in and out of old walls running Wisdom Rise. What's Wisdom Rise? That should have been orange so I could find out what it is. You shitface. Frig you! Think you can steal the throne when you're breathing around my blade in your chest? Or maybe it's your crafty forked tongue I should carve out first. Like I'd be dumb enough to risk my entrails scurrying about some fusty ruins. Think I don't know why they're forbidden? Scouring the old walls is just asking to incite Kairos' wrath, and I've got no death wish either from the Bane within, nor Kairos above, nor Fatebinder of Tunon before me. The old walls are indeed forbidden. There is no leniency in the interpretation of this law. I can sentence you now, Dirge, or I can hear you plea and adjudicate a fair ruling. I swear it, I've never stepped foot in the old walls. It's true, I've got no proof to say I've done nothing wrong, but Wrathrot's also got no proof to say I have, because nothing's happened aside from his ill-thought lies. So you're saying you didn't chase that sage right into the old walls? That's what you're saying, boss? That you hadn't followed her, but didn't go in? You damn well know I didn't go in. Thing is, me and Wrath been chasing a sage clear from Lethians. I guess she figured she wasn't going to slip us, so she made a beeline for the breach in the old walls. I know the law, so I wasn't about to follow her in. But I'd also be loath to let an enemy of Overlord slither free, so I cornered her before she could make it past the breach. This asshole here is the one who slit her damn throat as I held her down. Now he's saying he watched me waltz right into the old walls. Without him? Oh, come on, Fatebinder, you gonna believe that? I called you over here. I'm telling you what happened. Don't let him weasel out of a proper sentence. False accusation is an insidious crime, Rathrat. What proof do you have of your claims? Proof? Like what? It's not like I followed him into the old walls so I could properly document his transgressions. I saw him go in and out, chasing the sage. That ought to be evidence enough. If it's solid evidence you need, please go check where the sage's body lies. Why are you so eager for me to sentence Dirge, Rathrat? Actually, I think I know how this chorus works. I mean, he wants me to kill him so he can become head of the gang. It's pretty clear. The penalty for false accusation is death by impalement. Well, that's glorious. Can't wait to see the showing. I'll make sure the whole gang's there to watch, up close and personal. Right at all. Please have mercy. It's all a misunderstanding, you see. I'll teach him to never ask a Fatebinder anything? I suppose if that's a precedent you wish to set, the choice of punishment is a good touch. Okay, well, they all just disappeared. That's kind of weird. I might, because I know it auto-saved when I came in, I might redo that between recordings. I don't know. But anyway, this episode is going to come to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I guess we'll be talking to the voices of Nerat next episode. Be seeing ya.